So a little quick introduction to our team. We are from Walnut High School from Walnut, California. Here is the 2021 to 2022 FTC season Freight Frenzy. We won the Inspire Award at our qualifying tournament and was part of the finalist alliance in that competition. On the bottom left corner, you can see a picture of our robot. So moving on to our own 3 tips for winning Inspire. We felt that there are 3 main things that allowed us to win Inspire at our qualifying tournament. Our first tip for winning Inspire are outreaches. We emphasized mostly on a few outreaches that were the most impactful and successful. We always made sure to give numbers and statistics for judges to write down, allowing us to get a few more judges come to our pit. Our second tip for winning is to have a good branding. We wore bright yellow hard hats to competitions, so we stood out among the sea of teams at the competition. This let us stand out to the judges, and along with making a great first impression through our judging presentation, judges were able to remember us beyond our own team name. This leads us to our third tip for winning Inspire, which is to always be prepared. During team meetings, we always practice our presentations and pit judging interviews together and also practice driving a lot. This let us be proficient and be prepared for the competition. Our entire team always know what to do. Throughout this practice, we always made sure that we gave adequate and useful information to judges so that we could stand out even further.
So now we will starting with team presentations. Our first presenter today will be 21100 Voyagers, an Inspire winning team who made it to Worlds this season as a rookie team.
So should I share my screen?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Hold on. Okay. Hello, everyone. We are team 21100, the Voyagers. We are a rookie team. So we are 10 students, 9 boys and 1 girl. And we all come from different backgrounds. And regardless of our limited knowledge in robotics, for some of us, we're still really useful to our team. And we feel like a family. So everybody, regardless, gets a chance to shine. So this is a picture of the entire team. And in our little robotics club, we actually managed to build very strong bonds. And this is something we advise each and every one of you to do. We want you guys to feel like a family because this will come out to the judges and it will also help you with agreeing to disagree. And it's, in general, a really good way to build friendships outside of robotics. So don't see each other as just plain colleagues. These are just our roles. Like you can see, we have lots of hardware engineers, a couple of coaches, and our leaders. So this time for my teammate to unmute.
So each member in our team has their own unique skill set that's useful to the team. For example, someone that's not very good at engineering can help with other resource distribution and helping others join and adapt well to the team. This was one of our the eldest person, Marios's role, which was very useful. You might have seen him. He was always the cheerful one that danced and played with everyone. So we're doing breaking down of problems into software and hardware so it can be distributed to the right people that can solve the problems and continue on. And so the coaches also help us adapt to different situations and problems we had. For example, our robot being too thick, we had to thin it out, and we were getting ideas about our arm that we use to grab the objects. And in order to continue the team, recruit new people. So we're building a new way to interview and adapt by bringing in new people from our school. I think that's it. It's time for my friend here.
Yeah. So I'm part of the hardware department. As Theseus mentioned earlier, I'm the other one, Marius. There's two Marius in the team. He was the turing. I was mainly on the hardware. So to speed things up, we had a robot when we won the Inspire in Cyprus. Then we had to adapt to the, let's say, the global. We actually do something. We actually change something on the wheels to be faster and all of that. Everybody helped on the team. The communication was easy. And my advice for anyone trying to get into the hardware part of the robotics, I say to them, don't be scared. Share your ideas. You're everything you say is creative. You can agree, you can disagree with something. Everything is possible.
Exactly.
So for the software part of the team, we work on the old boot Java of the Rev hardware client of the program, getting experience and managed to make a lot of research from different blogs and websites that we can find, so we can adapt our program and making different nodes so we can find a better way to solve a problem. And the advice I would give to the new ones is that basically you can separate the tasks to the programmers and then share your knowledge to each other, so you can combine all of your knowledge and the programs so you can make the one.
Sorry, it's a bit laggy, so I don't know if it's working. Okay, so these are just pictures from the regionals in Cyprus. We won the Inspire and Innovate Award. And if I'm being honest, the fact that we were connected and, as a family, and we were using everybody's talents to the maximum extent, I feel like this is what gave us the opportunity to go to the global competition. So, yeah. Thank you for your attention.
Right. Thank you to our first presenter, the Voyagers. Our next team will be Inspire winning team 16187 Yorkist Stingers from York Castle High School in Jamaica, who won Inspire at the regionals, advancing them to Worlds.
Hi teams, can you hear me?
Yep,
Yeah,
we
we can.
can.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So first of all, I wish you guys a pleasant good day on whichever side of the world you are, or whatever time zone you're in. A special thank you to Team Voltech for this invitation. My name is Vedant Kevlani. I'm the captain of the York Castle team 16187. And I'm gonna screen share my presentation. Hold on 1 second. Okay, so can everybody see it?
I think so. I think
Yep. All good.
Okay. So we are Team York Castle Robotics, and we are a third-year FTC team that have competed at 2 official FTC events. The picture that you see is our current team, and the persons that are kneeling down are members of the biggest sponsor at the Jamaica Championship, the National Commercial Bank. Our team has 8 students and 2 mentors or coaches. So unfortunately, this year we had no girls on our team. And a popular question that was asked to us was like, why didn't you have any girls on your team? And that was because of the short time span. And when we were shortlisting members, we realized that we were selecting really based on their contributions and so there were no girls on this team. However, we do have a wide number of members for next year's team, as most of our seniors will be graduating. And our members work in engineering, programming, technical documentation, among many other fields. So the members that we had on our team were from grades 10 to 13. Our education system goes till grade 13, high school in Jamaica, which is equivalent to 12 in the USA. And yeah, so for our past season, that is Skystone, we've won the Captain of the Winning Alliance Award. We were also a nominee for Design Award. And in Freight Frenzy, we were the winners of the Inspire Award. And we were also captain of the Finalist Alliance. So here's a zoomed in picture of all the members on our team. And next, I'm going to show you our seasons bot for both the national and the world championship. So here's the season bot, and the first picture that you see here, the team that has Stinger on the license plate. So that was our robot for the national championships. And this robot basically was a simple pulley claw mechanism that was controlled by a string. And this was inspired by the clothing and textile industry, where we use this thing called a bobbin, and we basically wrap string around it. So when we press a button on the controller, the claw would lift itself up to a certain height. So it's basically controlled by a string. And I'm pretty sure other pictures that I have here may be able to give in a better zoomed in version of that. The next picture we have here was just when we were taking a photo shoot. So this shows like the rare version of the robot. And at the time, this robot wasn't complete, so there was no mount or phone mount involved. And the third picture here, this shows the string, as you can see, with the bobbin idea. So that would be used to lift up the claw. So that was the robot that we used for our local championship. For the Houston championship, we made a major transformation. So instead of using the string idea, we decided to use 2 motors with gears and 2 wheels for the carousel, so whichever wheel aligns best. At the time, this robot wasn't complete, which is why the wires do look unorganized. And later on, we decided to fix that up. So that's for like our Houston championship. And for our behind the scenes, this is a robot that was like a work in progress. We also had a virtual meeting where we were exploring drivetrain ideas. And we made some sketches on our board every time we had like school meetings. And we also used tape markers in our field, but we don't have a field, so we use tape markers on a concrete floor in order to like practice. So for outreach, we had several outreaches, and all of these were with high schools. This one was with a university called the Caribbean Maritime University that had visited our school to explore the industrial or the mechanical and engineering aspect. The students do those subjects, so we were able to make a presentation to them. And we also had, we were also participants at a science fair, so we got to present to many little children about our robot and the competition. Here we are at the practice field. Thankful to Jamaica College, who've been in the competition. They actually introduced robotics to Jamaica and Jamaican high schools. So they're one of the 2 teams in Jamaica that actually have a full practice field. So we traveled to the capital city, which is Kingston, in order to use this practice field, and we're really grateful to them. And last but not least, we had a virtual meeting that our school's alumni chapter organized with MIT. And they were basically educating us about one of their projects, a self-driving autonomous vehicle called Neuro. It's a company, and it basically delivers groceries from door to door. So tips that we have for winning Inspire, we've organized it into 3 teams. 3 tips, my bad. And this is really just to connect and celebrate new beginnings. One of our outreaches that we held on Jamaica Day, which celebrates the arts, culture, and technology, allowed us to forge new friendships that were still active to this day, both socially and in person. So these are the persons we remain in so much close contact with. We are really good friends, and we share all of our experiences together. We basically help to build each other. We can find common conversations, help each other in our career, and make them meaningful. Our second tip is don't just document, but present. So live your journey through your words in expression, and reminisce momentous occasions that were the highlights of the day. So sometimes we can't find the best words to describe, or we may not be the best spokespersons, but make sure that everything that you say, everything that you do related to FTC, let it be impactful, and let it be like a post-event conversation, something that the judges would talk about, or like bells ringing in the long term. And our last tip is to display gracious professionalism at all times. So we believe that because of our team spirit and loud cheers, and we were also cheering our competitors in their qualification matches, we were a big team when it came on to gracious professionalism. So this is something we'd recommend for teams. And in conclusion, we've learned a lot about ourselves in this journey. We've learned to appreciate our mentor, our sponsors, and everyone that has supported us. And we're really thankful that we were able to be a part of this competition, knowing that we're a third-year team. So We really look forward to future seasons and to apply everything that we've learned from meeting all the teams at the Houston Championships this year. Thank you.
Thank you to the Yorka Stingers for showing us your season as well as giving tips to all the audience. Our next Inspire winning team that is presenting will be 3526 Marlbots from Monrovia, California. They have qualified for Worlds multiple times since their rookie year.
As soon as there we go. Hi, my name is Nina. Hopefully you can be able to see the screen. I'm the current captain of the Marlbots, Team 3526 from Los Angeles, California. We were first place Inspire at the LA Qualifier Tournament, and we do have a history of winning Inspire at previous seasons, as well as winning the Motivate Award twice at the World Championships. So just a little bit about us. We were founded in 2010, so we are a pretty well-established team. We've been around for a while. We are at a girls' school in California, so our team is predominantly female or gender minority, and we are a team of 15 members with grades 10 through 12. So currently this season, our team was half seniors, so we are losing some members, but through our school, we're able to recruit a ton of members because we have a bunch of sister teams and we do a lot of work with them. So to us, the most important thing in Inspire is obviously like your robot, but what I'm going to focus on mostly is like the outreach aspect and your non-technical stuff, because from our experience, that's been a big part of the Inspire Award. So we technically usually divide our outreach between like two categories. We have our non-STEM outreach and then our STEM outreach. So start with the non-STEM outreach. We do a lot of work with nonprofit organizations. We work with two specifically that work with kids with hearing impairments and chronic illnesses, and we teach STEM classes to them, which we've found to really help us in the Inspire Award. We've also been able to create long-standing relationships with them, which I think has also been very helpful. And it's also just been a really amazing experience for the whole team. We also do a lot of outreach within our school. We present at open houses and events for incoming students to the school. So we really try and make the robotics program known at our school. And because when the Marlbots first started, it was just a club, it's now progressed into like a class period, and it's a really big thing at the school. So we try and kind of emphasize how we've been able to grow over the years and how we continue to grow. In terms of our STEM outreach, we do a lot of work within the FTC community. We host scrimmages. We are partners with organizations that are focused on like women in STEM or LGBTQ+ community in STEM. And then we also reach out to a lot of engineering mentors through like design panels or emailing mentors and emailing engineers and asking if they would be willing to meet with us and to talk. And then we also try and kind of share this to our school community if we have that opportunity, because we believe it's really important to be able to spread STEM in any way and spread first. We also try and emphasize that during judging. Another big thing that we found really important with Inspire is your branding. So if you have ever seen us in competition, you will know that our thing is purple. We wear capes, and that's just like a big part of who we are. It always has been. So we really try and keep with that theme, as well as we have a mission statement, which I would highly advise any team make, no matter how simple it is. It's just kind of our guiding principle. So we work to to support women in STEM and underrepresented communities in FIRST and just in general. We work to kind of spread STEM to the general Los Angeles area, and we really focus a lot of our outreach and our presentation within the FTC community on that, which I think also helps a lot with our with Inspire, because we're able to show that like we have like a mission outside of just the robot game, which all of our members are very, very they are very committed to, and every single member participates in these outreach things and helps like develop these relationships, which I also think helps a lot. In terms of our team structure, we, as I said, we're a girls team, so that has in the past made us a little more unique, but we've been really excited to see how many more teams have women in them. And for our team structure, we have our captains, and then everyone kind of takes on roles. So we have people who specialize in hardware, software, people who are more focused on outreach, but what's most important to us is that everyone tries a little bit of everything. So every single team member has been involved in the creation of our robot. Everyone helped design it, come up with ideas, help build it. Every single member has participated in outreach or gone to at least one. Most people go to multiple outreach events. And we really try and emphasize this collaboration, both within our team and with other teams within just the general FTC community and with our sister teams at our school, which we have 3. So we're a school, we are at a school with 4 FTC teams total. And then lastly, we're also really emphasize the importance of team bonding. I know Voyagers were talking earlier about like your team being like a family, and we agree that's very important. We try and organize outreach. We try and organize team bonding events within our team. We've gone ice skating. We've had lunch together. You know, anything that we can do to really build that community is going to be very helpful, and will help you present to the judges as a team that's like, it's very connected and is very happy to be there, but also it helps you work better together to both build a better robot, present to judges, and just in general have a more fun time during the season, which aside from all the awards is one of the most important things. So yeah, thank you so much for listening, and thanks Voltec for inviting us.
Thank you to Marlbots for sharing about your team. Our next team presenting is 13835 Enigma, winning Inspire at Colorado States this year, qualifying for Worlds.
Okay, cool. I'll share a screen. So hi, we're team 135 Enigma from Johnstown, Colorado. So about us, we're a 4th year FTC team, and we're a 4-person team in 11th to 12th grade. Well, next year we'll be a 3-person team, so it'll be fun. As a team, we strive to inspire small teams so that they can go to the big levels of competition and they can do what the big teams can do. Over the course of the season, during qualifiers, we've won the Connect and the Design Award. And then at Colorado State, we won the Think Award. And then we actually won 2nd place Inspire, which got us a place at the first World Championships, which was a lot of fun to do. A big thing about our team is our robot, and Jonathan can take that.
All right, so we built this chassis in 2 weeks after our 2nd qualifier when we made it to state, and then we rebuilt the arm in between state and worlds. So one thing is when building your robot, try and make it different than everyone else's. So ours is a Mecanum chassis, but we have belts that allow us to get over the pipes. So we have a really interesting arm design and all that, which allows for a very unique robot that stands out. So
from robot to outreach. So outreach, we think the best outreach you can do is connecting with companies and professionals, taking your designs to mentors and engineering companies like sponsors or something, just having them look over your designs, not design it for you, but just get a professional opinion. We found out that judges love that. And then connecting with kids, whether that's running camps, we've done demonstrations in the past. We find that like elementary kids seem to like robots the best, more than like middle school or like really young kids. So that's just our own experience. With branding and fundraising, that's a big part of our team. So we like to choose a color scheme. So our colors are bright green and navy blue, as you can see, like with our presentation and our shirts and everything. We also like to keep a consistent theme because I think that's how people like recognize this, whether that's lines on your logo or like your green and stuff. With fundraising and just branding and exposure, social media is a great way. We did social media this year. This is our first year doing it, and it was a great way to just connect with teams over this and really the world. It was cool seeing all people's designs and everything. With fundraising, we just this thing canvass with local companies. Canvassing is where you go to like actually in person, door to door to companies within your community, and just like pitch your idea. Say we're a robotics team, we're just looking for fundraising for our season, and that worked out a lot. We were able to get a lot of our funding to go to like Houston and stuff. So yeah. Other helpful tips that we think just winning the Inspire, when it comes to judging, we say make the judges love you in your morning presentation. That is kind of weird, but you want to make the judges fall in love with you and like root for you and like their deliberation and stuff, whether that's practicing your presentation, feeling relaxed, and like being confident and like happy about your designs. Like you made them, you want to like say like you made this design. The judges want to hear what you have to say. You want to be happy about your design. We also think that starting fundraising over the off season is really important because we struggled with that like at the beginning of this season, and by the time the season started, we're like, wow, we actually need like new parts and stuff, and we didn't have really that much funding. So even if you don't think you're gonna need it, socialize is kind of weird because like with our team, we're all introverts, so it's really hard for us to socialize. But socializing with teams within your local community is a great way for like outreach and just getting like new friends stuff. We partner with three local high school teams that compete with us, and it's really good because they're able to loan us parts when we need it, and we're able to give them tips. So we can use their facilities, we can use ours. It's really cool. In terms of like the team, we think it's best to know each other's strengths and weaknesses within the team. Because if you don't know each other's strengths and weaknesses, things could turn out wrong. You could put somebody who's not good at building a robot, like designing an arm and stuff, and they don't know, and then it kind of causes ruckus and stuff. We also think to winning the Inspire, it's not on our presentation, but checking all the boxes for all the awards. So we go through every award. Like, okay, so what are the criteria for the design award? Did we check all those boxes? Did we check all the boxes for the design award, the motivate award, the innovate award and stuff? And we just try to make sure that all those boxes are checked to where we're in the running for all those awards. And so then me and Ren went running for the Inspire award. So yeah, thank you.
Thank you for giving us a tip and also showing us your robot design. The next team presenting is 16158 VC Silver Circuits from Nevada, an Inspire winning team and the finalist alliance that competed in Worlds this year.
Hello, we're the VC Silver Circuits. I'm Adam, I'm the team captain.
I'm Elise, I'm the business captain. And we're the VC Silver Circuits. This is our third year. We have 11 team members on our team. We have very different age ranges. We go from grade 7th to grade 11. The reason for that is so that our team continues, so that we always have a team. So this is us when we won state, the Inspires. We were very happy. We put a lot of work into winning it. One of the things that really stuck out to us about outreach and stuff is making sure you connect with people in your community. So one of the things we did was with FLL, First Lego League, we connected with the teams one-on-one.
So we personally mentored quite a few teams. We mentored the FLL team, the Mindstorm Masters. We've helped some junior FLL teams. You can see one of these pictures. We're volunteering at the FLL meets. We like to, it's really important to strongly represent at those, because a lot of the people, at least here in Nevada, a lot of the people who judge FTC also judge FLL. So when they see you at the FLL events, they remember it when they're judging you in FTC. So that's really important.
Yeah, we hosted meets at the high school up here in Virginia City. And we learned a lot from that. We connected with a lot of FTC teams. One of the big things we did this year was connecting with FTC teams. We connected with Master Craftsmen who are out in Mammoth, and we worked a lot with them. And it was nice because at state we knew them really well, so we were able to print parts for them. Some of the things we did over this summer was learning Fusion 360 and building a 3D printer. And some of our goals for next season is to build a CNC machine and kind of rebuild our team. So we're going to do, we need a few more team members for different roles on our team. So we are hoping to do a summer program where we're going to have kids try out for our team and see how that goes.
Okay, so this is our robot from this season. So at the beginning of this season, we had heard a lot about 30-hour builds. So we thought it would be really cool and really important to do one of those. So that was kind of our big thing at the start of the season. And it was really fun. It was really effective. We got a robot chassis and a pretty good robot design, and we were able to take that to the scrimmage. And so we continued working on different iterations of that. And so something that we think is pretty important as far as the Inspire Award goes with the robot is having something memorable and innovative on your robot, because when they're looking at the Inspire Award, I'm sure you guys all know this, but they're also looking at your robot too. And so not only does your team need to be set apart in the judging room, but also on the competition field. Why does your robot look different from others? So our wheels, not only are they, you can see them in this picture, they've got like the spikes and everything. Not only are they very effective at going over the barriers, but they're super memorable. So all the judges can look at the field. They don't need to look at team numbers or anything. They instantly know that one's the VC Silver Circuits because it's got the cool wheels. And that helps set you apart in the judging room too. So also with our robot, we did the 30-hour build. We worked on different iterations going up to state. And after state, we realized that we had a lot of changes that needed to be made to our robot, like the tape measure, having dual duck spinners, a lot of these different things. So it was risky, but we decided to do a complete rebuild in the 6 weeks we had before Worlds. And it really did pay off. And so we were able to do, our robot's OPR was much better than what had been in state. So there's a lot of things like that you just have to look at, the risks versus the reward of rebuilding a whole robot in 6 weeks and reprogramming as well.
Takes a lot of brainstorming and goals to achieve that.
Yeah. And so going back to the different teams that we've helped over the season though. So when we went out to Mammoth, which is where the master craftsmen live, that's like a 3-hour drive from here. So it was really helpful for that team to be able to work with us because they can't go out and they can't have outreach with a lot of other teams because they're very secluded. But also they have a lot, these other teams that you go out and you meet with, they have a lot of really cool ideas and things that really help. So for like one instance, there's a team in Urington, which is an hour away from where we work. And this team doesn't have a field, but they have odometry, and that's the little dead wheels on the bottom of their robot. And so it's really cool we had them come to our location so that way they could use our field. And in return, they were showing us all of their odometry. And so that's one of the things that we're going to implement this next summer. This summer, I guess we're in the middle of it now, is working on getting odometry going and a lot of these, working on a lot of the next steps to be able to get a better robot and a better presentation. So doing outreach over the summer, working on a robot. Elise talked a little bit about getting new team members this summer. So what we're going to do, we haven't done this in previous seasons, but what we're going to do this season is we're going to let kids come and work with us over the summer. And then once it's August or so, we're going to sit down to, decide, okay, these are the roles that we need on this team this year, business people, programmers, builders, and then go through the people that we've had working with us over the summer and see who's best fitted to fill those roles.
And lastly, I want to talk a little bit about fundraising. So going to Worlds, you have to do a lot of fundraising. We had to raise quite a bit. So one of the
$27,000.
Yeah, $27,000. So one of the things we focused on mainly was creating a generic donation request letter. It explained what FIRST was. It explained a little bit about our team, and we sent out to many companies, and they would give us donations. We would host raffles and silent auctions. And that's it.
Thank you, Silver Circuits. Our next Inspire team and Winning Alliance captain team from BC Canada Champions 16031 Parabellum will be presenting.
Okay, hello. So I'm Alan. I'm co-captain of Team 16031 Parabellum. And this is our third season doing FTC. So back all the way in our first season, which was the Skystone season, we won the second place Inspire at our provincial championships. And then the season after that, which was Ultimate Goal, we also won second place Inspire at our provincial championships. And finally this year, we've got, at provincials, we finally got the first place Inspire, as well as we're also the captains of the Winning Alliance, which I think brings up an important aspect of the Inspire Award, which is that, you got to be, strong in all aspects of FTC. So that's outreach and team activities, and also the robot in general. And then I think something that helped us stand out a lot this year was a little project we did with masks and recycling them. So we did some research, and then we we came up with a way to melt down disposable face masks and then reuse them into plastic parts that we've used on our robot. Yeah, and then we also part of that was promoting and sharing that with as many people as we could. So which we did also a lot at Worlds, and I think I don't think I know that we also won a Judges' Choice Award that was specifically kind of for that. That's our team summary.
Thank you for having us. We're gonna keep it short in the interest of time, but thank you for having us, and we look forward to answering all your questions.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for sharing with us your past seasons as well. Our next presenter is from Louisiana, 14374 Dark Matter. Dark Matter competed in Worlds this year and advanced from Louisiana States by winning Inspire, as well as being finalists to Lions Captains.
Hello. Hi. We need to get our presentation up. Where is it? Oh, it's hiding. It's not up there. I saw. Oh, wait, there it is.
Technical difficulties.
Very good. Okay. All right, Casey, you need to go into presentation.
We can see, yeah.
Yeah, we can see.
Shit. No, gotcha.
All right. Hi, we're Team Dark Matter 14374. We are a community team from Southeast Louisiana. We are a small team with just 4 members. To start the season, we had a simple pivot design for scoring freight. We used this robot for scrimmage in our qualifier, while our more intricate scoring mechanism was being developed in CAD. At qualifier, we were a finalist alliance and earned Inspire, which advanced us to state. We then completed our CAD design and built our final robot in the 3 weeks leading up to state. We also moved from block programming to Java throughout the season. At our state championship, we were a finalist alliance captain, Think Connect finalist, and earned Inspire. Our team's goal for the season was to create a unique robot that would make our team stand out. Our team's dedication to work through challenges and continually improve our robot and our programming throughout the season is what we believe helped us earn the Inspire Award.
But of course, FIRST is much more than just robots. And earning Inspire also means you're a well-rounded, passionate team. So we'd like to share a few tips on how we aim to excel in other areas. As a team, we strive to gracious professionalism. As a team, we strive to embody gracious professionalism in all we do. From team meetings, outreach, competitions, and promoting STEM and FIRST, our goal is to be gracious and above all respectful of others. We are excited to see every team succeed, and we are always willing to help other teams in any way we can.
Outreach and connections. We try to find unique ways to reach out to our community and make our outreach stand out. Our team has created robot driver's licenses that kids earn when they drive our robots at demo outreach. This has been a real hit with the younger kids that are interested in STEM. Make it loud. Our 4 team members have a combined 19 years in FIRST, with experience in FLL, FTC, and FRC levels. That experience has translated into a passion for the FIRST program as a whole. We are always looking for opportunities to find mentors, judges, and volunteers for our local FIRST program. Our region is in desperate need of help in those areas, so we make it a priority to also engage with adults at our outreach. Our team gives presentations at companies to show how the company and their employees can get involved in FIRST.
Judging session. We make sure each team member is prepared, contributes, and can answer questions. Practice, practice, practice. We present our presentation for family, teachers, and mentors. We connected with 2 engineers in our community who gave us great feedback on our presentation and how to improve. For our state and world's judging sessions, we demoed our robot and showed how each mechanism worked. This was something we had not done before, and we think really helped the judges get an overall understanding of our robot before they could view matches. Teams are not required to submit the control award form or a promote video, but we highly recommend it. The more
The more award categories you can be a top contender for, the better chance you have at earning Inspire.
Portfolio and EN. Our goal for our EN portfolio is to be well organized and touch on all award categories. We make sure to show engineering principles and calculations whenever possible. Although an engineering notebook is not required, we find keeping a detailed EN is crucial when it comes to putting together our portfolio. Each meeting, we keep detailed notes, drawings, and photos and organize it in a way that clearly shows the design process and evolution of each mechanism on our robot. It is especially important to define any problems we encounter and how we solve them. The major obstacles we face throughout our build are likely to be what shapes our robot and learning experiences throughout the season. A full engineering notebook is also a great resource to have ready for pit interviews. We take every opportunity to show full documentation to judges if they come to our pit. Read the engineering portfolio requirements by award section in the game manual. There are requirements and recommendations. We believe teams should strive to include all elements, even if they are only recommendations. To stand out for Inspire, you must go beyond what is expected. Don't forget to document your goals. Judges like to see that you are planning to improve beyond the season.
In conclusion, an Inspire team is a strong contender for all judged awards. Read the award category descriptions and criteria in the game manual, and make sure you strive for excellence in all of these areas. Use those award descriptions criteria as well as a checklist to set the goals. Thank you.
Thank you, Dark Matter, for sharing with us. Our next team will be Team 16091 TWCA, or known as Team Without a Cool Acronym, an Inspire winning team from Utah Champions, also qualifying to compete in Worlds this year.
Okay. Yeah, wait. Okay. Greetings, we're Team 16091, Team Without a Cool Acronym, or TWACA for short. We have 9 members on our team, 5 of which are seniors, will be graduating. Yeah, we are based off of Phineas and Ferb.
Okay. We've won several awards through our 3 years. In Skystone, we got the Think Award, Control Award, and Inspire Award at 3 of our qualifiers. And then we got Connect at the Utah State and Motivate at the Idaho State Championship. Then in our 2nd year, we got the Inspire Award right out of the gate at our first qualifier, and then didn't really get any awards until we won the Inspire at the Utah State Championship. Then this year, we participated in 2 qualifiers, one at Hurricane High School, our local high school, and then one at Park City High School. And we got the Inspire Award and the Connect Award. And then at the Utah State Championship, we got the Inspire Award, qualifying us for the World Championship. And then we also went to the Idaho State Championship and won the Think Award. Our first season, we focused on competing as much as possible to gain experience and kind of learn how to compete, since many of us were rookies to FTC and robotics in general, and just wanted to see how it worked. And as you can see in our later years, it paid off. One thing that we emphasize strongly is our team branding. It's a trait that makes our team extremely successful because everybody recognizes who we are, and it makes it so it's easy for us to find each other due to our bright teal and orange jerseys.
So everything that we do corresponds with the team brand. Some examples of this would be our team uniforms, our robot, which would be the color and the name, which is the Perionator, as well as our activities and travel music.
We've had some really cool opportunities. One of our favorite opportunities was we actually got to meet the co-creator of Phineas and Ferb, Jeff Swampy Marsh, which is what our team is based off of. It was super fun. He drove our robot, and it was super cool.
Another thing that our team does a lot of is volunteer and outreach. We like to work in our community, and we take every opportunity that we can to serve and do really any kind of community service or outreach events. We're in contact with many elementary schools in our area, and they contact us to help them put on STEM camps or just general activities at their school that they need help or volunteers with. We also sign up to volunteer at any first events in our area, if we're not competing.
Cody?
Okay, so we like to make ourselves known. We work to make interesting social media content. We have a website to share our team mission, and we send out press releases to let the local media know about our successes. So as you can see, we've been interviewed by a lot of newspapers, and we've been in the news, which really just helps us to get our team out there and show people what it's like.
To be an Inspire award-winning team, you have to be fairly well-rounded, which means building a fairly well robot. And then, okay, that was very good. Okay, so our engineering process is that we all sit down together and kind of brainstorm what we want our robot to do before designing what we actually want to build. Many times we go through many different ideas and kind of just coming up with stuff. Then we will often split into groups so that we can sketch out the ideas and then prototype them. Then we take the best ideas after testing and repeat the process to make them better until eventually we have a whole robot. The most important thing to remember is to have fun. We found that the judges notice when you're there to have fun and when you're enjoying yourselves, because if you put too much stress on the competition, then you won't enjoy yourself and you won't enjoy the competition as much. Yeah. Is that the yeah. Oh, yeah. Thank you guys for having us.
Thank you for your presentation. The next team presenting from Ontario, Canada, Team 16398 Relatively Quantum. This Inspire winning team and third top ranked team from Canada also competed in Worlds this season.
Thanks, Voltec, for inviting us to this amazing panel. I'm going to keep it short in the interest of time. I know we're approaching our deadline for the end of the event. So we're a team that has started in 2019. So this is at Worlds was our third year competing. The funny thing is we like to call ourselves a third year rookie team because of the fact that we've had so many online championships that Worlds is actually the second time we've gone out to compete. So not too much in-person experience, but we have been around for 3 years. So we've gained certainly a lot of members and a lot of parent involvement from there. We're not based in a school, so we really need parents to help support us. And that's kind of how, we get everyone food and we get everyone supervised is a lot of parent engagement. And I'd like to say that even for a school team, I think it's very important that parents are engaged with the team because it really helps to have parents that can drive their students to competitions or bring food for the team when they need it. So parent volunteering, I think, is one really big aspect of why our team was so successful. Secondly, I just want to quickly go through our robot a little bit. I'm not going to go through every detail because a lot of aspects of this are similar to other robots. So I'll only cover what's kind of unique about it. One thing right off the bat is you'll notice that it's all blue. We actually did not spray paint it. We actually use a build system called Studica, and that's a build system that's only in Canada. So the company that makes it is based in Canada. So not a lot of, I don't think I saw any teams of the world competition use this. So definitely not a lot of teams out there that are using this. If I'm wrong, though, please let me know if anyone else uses this build system. I haven't seen anyone yet. Another cool thing about our drivetrain is that we actually had a center wheel in the middle that was slightly elevated compared to our two Mechan wheels. So what that meant is that we were still able to strafe when playing the match normally, but when going over the barrier, that wheel helped us go over. Like it was chained to the back wheel, so it was actually actively powered as well. In terms of the other cool, unique things I think we did, one thing that we found interesting is that we actually monitored the current that our motor was drawing to be able to detect when we had intake in a freight object. Because our intake was a sealed sort of container, as soon as a freight element would go into the intake, the motor would kind of stall out and that would have a large spike in current. So based on that, we were able to detect whether we had freight, and we kind of like to think of this as a wireless and sensorless way of knowing whether we had freight or not. I can also play a little bit of a match here of our robot. You can kind of see how it works over there. So that's from a technical aspect of really how we structure a robot. And of course, all the other teams have been mentioning, you need to have a strong robot along with strong non-technical skills to be able to win Inspire. From a non-technical perspective, I'm not the non-technical member on the team currently. We actually, the person who's responsible for that is currently sick today. So that's a bit unfortunate. But what I did want to point out is that I think the number one factor for success for our team, why we actually ended up winning Inspire, was the fact that we applied for all the awards. So there wasn't an award we skipped out on. We made sure to apply to all of them, because if you go and look at the criteria for how a team qualifies to win an Inspire Award, it definitely requires a lot of points in all the other categories, and it depends on how many nominations you have in those categories. So our number one suggestion would be really apply to all the awards, apply to Compass, apply to Promote, apply to all the awards. That'll really help you win the Inspire Award. And yeah, I'll cut it short because I don't want to take too much longer.
Thank you, Relatively Quantum. Our next team, 4628 Suitbots. Suitbots want to Inspire as SoCal qualifiers, as well as being part of Winning Alliance.
So hi, we are team 4628 Suitbots, and my name is Deanna, and I'll be presenting today for Suitbots. Okay. So a little bit about us. We really like Popeyes. That's first and foremost. We have Popeyes dinners all the time. You know, no matter the cost, you always want to bag in with that chicken sandwich. We're an FTC team based in Monrovia, California, and we are one of 4 veteran teams at Monrovia High School. And we strive to advocate for inclusivity and diversity within the STEM world. And as you can see to your right, this is our robot for the Freight Frenzy season. But today our main focus for our team this year was mainly outreach. So awards. Awards this year, we won 2nd place Inspire at our qualifiers. And we also won 2nd Connect, the 1st place Think Award, and 3rd for design. And we are also winning Alliance at qualifiers with Spectrum and Blueprints. Yeah. So our branding, as you may know, we wear suit and ties. Like everywhere we walk, we're like, oh my God, they're so classy. Yeah, we are very classy and we own it. So basically, I think a big part of Inspire is to have your team really known. This is mentioned like multiple times with other teams, but I think it's very important that your team creates like kind of like their own identity, so that the judges and like just like normal bystanders kind of know who you are and get an idea of what your team is. And so who are we? Basically, like, I know we wear suits, but there's people behind the suits. And so these people are basically members of our team. And we split our teams up based on units. So like we would have our programming unit, our build and CAD unit, and our notebook and outreach unit. So throughout our this season, we try to get everyone to do every bit of everything. So like sometimes a notebooker would start building, or programmers would start doing the notebook. But yeah, so that's how we structure our team. So next it would be outreach. We created our own first LEGO League team this year called Gears and Gadgets, and we hope to make them competitive this upcoming season. We also hosted our own diversity in STEM webinar with panelists within the actual STEM world who try to advocate for more women in STEM and more people of color. And we also participate within community events such as open house and local scrimmages. A big part of Suitbots is Connect. We connect a lot with the community, and throughout the years, Suitbots has gone to Worlds previously through Connect and only through Connect. We've never gone through Robot before, which is pretty impressive. I know if you look at the team, like the team roster or how they go into Worlds for qualifications, I know this year was different, but in previous years, it would cut off right before Connect. But the thing is, there's a cool thing called double ups, and say like a team wins Inspire and they win Winning Alliance. So that would boost Connect up. So Connect would go to Worlds. And so that's kind of like our strategy. It's pretty smart if you ask me. Anyways, we have design reviews and we have notebook reviews in which we focus on designs, or we focus on our portfolio and engineering notebook. We also try to connect with like this local internship called Girl Mag. And so we basically got our team and multiple other teams such as Marobots, which is also here at the panel today, to be featured in an article about empowerment through representation in STEM. And so a few organizations we are part of. So we recently joined LGBTQ+ at First to advocate for queers within STEM, and we created our own organization called POCs at First, in which we advocate for people of color within STEM. It's kind of new, but we really hope for it to be really big, and a lot of teams would join it to advocate for less racism and more inclusivity within the STEM world. And so a few tips for the win. So first of all, be honest. Judges like honesty. Don't try to make yourself like, I mean, it's okay to like, make yourself look a little better than you actually are. But overall, as a whole, try to be as honest as possible. Next, hit all or most of the awards. You don't have to be impressive in everything. You can be mid in all of the awards and still win Inspire. And then next, do a notebook and a portfolio. I know notebooks aren't required, but I would highly recommend it since you can reference off of it to write the portfolio, as well as judges or like just community members can flip through your notebook just to see what your whole journey is rather than a shortened down 15-page summary. And lastly, set goals. Goals are very important. You want to try to have like the right mindset in the beginning of the year to try to do the best as you can. And I know our goals weren't initially to win Inspire, but we later changed it to win Inspire just because we looked at kind of what we were doing that year and was like, low key, we can win Inspire. And we did, we got second Inspire, and that's pretty cool. And most importantly, quality over quantity. You see all these teams out here be doing like 20 connects, like 15 million outreaches, and their bipedal waterproof robot. No, quality over quantity. You want to try to do the best as you can with what you have. It's okay to be impressive and try to do a lot. And yeah, that's really cool. But I think as a whole, the most important part of first is to try to build a community. It isn't always about the win. It isn't always about trying to get that award in and stuff like that. But nonetheless, I think it's really important to try to get in the most as you can within that season, but also try to make it really good. And lastly, create an impact. No team starts off as a winner. I mean, this year was our first time like even placing for Inspire. We usually don't even try for it. So it was really cool for us to win this year. And no matter how small the outreach or robot, you too can suit up to be inspiring. Thank you.
Thank you, Subots. Our next team presenting will be 14725 Jabba the Hutts. This Inspire winning team from Florida. We're also part of the Winning Alliance at Worlds.
Okay, I'm going to keep this short because we are running out of time, but let me share my screen. Okay, so we are Jabba the Hutts. We're a team from Southwest Florida. We consist of 6 members. We're a community team, so as one of the other teams mentioned, parents are very important to us because they are kind of responsible for all of this. So this season, league finals, we were ranked 2. We lost in the finals, but we ended up winning Inspire at our league finals. For the state competition, we were ranked 1 in our division. However, we lost in the division finals, but we did end up winning Inspire, so that moved us to Worlds. And at Worlds, we were Innovate Award finalist and part of the Robot Winning Alliance. Our robot. So our main philosophy this season for our robot was to kind of be able to do everything on the field so we could be like the ideal alliance partner. So the first idea we like kind of worked our hardest on was suspension. So because we wanted to go over those bars because we felt that was going to be give us a quicker cycle time to score an alliance. So we built suspension, and then we also added a turret to quicken our cycle times. We have an elevator so that we can reach all the levels, an arm to grab it, and then a bucket with a little scoop that kind of helps us grab the freight. We also have a duck spinner that is geared with 2 rev servos, and then one of the other big things we have is suspension dampers. So this season we won. So our suspension early on was really wobbly. It was kind of hard to control, and we know that you can't use liquid and you can't use gas shocks to kind of help your suspension. So we created friction dampeners out of 3D printed with rubber O-rings to dampen that oscillation, and it helped us a lot. So for Inspire Award, technical outreach. So we did a lot of outreach this season, and a big part of our technical outreach was mentoring 2 FTC teams and 2 FLL teams. One FTC team we mentored made it to the states competition, and they were a rookie team. And then one of the FLO teams we mentored made it to the Worlds competition. We've also presented to multiple tech-related companies and met with many experts in tech-related companies. So, and then for non-technical outreach. So our team is part of a nonprofit called the I Will Mentorship Foundation. And their main goal is to kind of bring STEM to underserved communities. So we worked with them and hosted summer camps to bring STEM to these underserved communities, and we kind of showed them robotics, showed them multiple different STEM things, and that was a really cool opportunity. We've also been on the news many times just to kind of show our local community who we are. We've actually gotten people asking to say, hey, how can we do robotics? Because we saw you on the news, how can we do robotics? And then another thing that is a big part of our team is we run our team like a business. So we use multiple different business strategies to help manage our time and make sure everyone has a job. So we have different teams on the team, and then people are split into those teams, but we don't want people to be isolated in those teams. So every one of those teams cross trains each other, just so everyone has an idea of how everything works on the team. For portfolio for states, our portfolio was not very good. It was kind of wordy. It was kind of hard to read. So for Worlds, we made sure to redesign it. We made it a lot more pleasant to the eye. That's a big part. We think that's a big part that the judges like. You want it to be pleasant, easy to read, but you also want it to include enough that they can understand everything and know, and you can convey what you want to say. So we mainly focus on outreach and design strategies. And so for branding, kind of like Voltec, we also wear bright yellow hard hats right here. And we have the same team shirts that we wear, and we wear khaki shorts. And then we also, everything that we do, as you can see, is yellow in like a dark gray or black. And it's also Star Wars. So Jabba the Hutt's obviously Jabba the Hutt. We kind of have everything themed around Star Wars, because when we made the team, that was like a big part of first, and we just kind of kept that because we think it's a cool name. And yeah, as you can see, every 3D printed part we have is yellow. And I think that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Jabba the Hutt, for sharing some tips. Our last team for today will be 12525 Wolf Corp from Walnut, California. They were Inspire winner finalists at Worlds this year.
Hey, so we're Wolf Corp team 12525, and we're a 5th-year FTC team. And this will just be a brief presentation about where we talk insights and experiences on how we thought we were able to win Inspire finalists at Worlds. And just as a note, this is kind of just personal experience, so take everything with like a grain of salt. So on our hardware side of the, so this is just an outline. We'll be talking about robot design and software, and then we'll talk about outreach and meaningful STEM connection, and then finally having strong delivery in both the presentation and pit interviews. So on our hardware side of the robot, we recognized that we were going to be competing against many more innovative robots with amazing features at Worlds. So we focused more on describing our design process, where we CAD'd and animated our robot and 3D printed dozens of prototypes for basically all of our major mechanisms. And we also displayed physical prototypes and total story, and we illustrated the thought process and why, and the why behind each and every part and how we improved over the season. And for the programming of our robot, our team success rooted from a solid intuitive understanding of Java and programming concepts. And from there, over the course of around 5 years, we moved on to learning how to build more advanced software features. Now we utilize ultrasonic and infrared sensors, a web camera, Rev IMU sensors. We use the encoders, and with better version control Roadrunner, some PID tuning, OpenCV models, and distance sensor localization, and some state machines and multi-threading, our robot was able to improve on the programming side.
So there are 3 major awards that summarize the business and community aspect of FIRST, which would be Connect, Motivate, and Think. And I'll briefly discuss a little bit about what our team did on that side. So starting with Connect, for which I suggest you to stay connected. Keep in contact with your sponsors. These are the people who will help you and support you throughout the season, with your experts, professionals in the field who can always give you continuous feedback throughout the season so that you can always learn and improve in various aspects. Keep in contact with other FIRST teams. These are friends and allies you can make throughout the FIRST community. They're people who you can help or can help you throughout the season, and as well as just community members in general, just people you can spread STEM and FIRST to. Moving on to motivate and hosting quality events. Establish a target audience and know who you're reaching out to so you can tailor your information and your event to them and ensure that you're hosting events that are made specifically for your audience. However, be sure not to limit yourself to just specific people, for example, just first teams or just community members, and spread your influence across various events. And as always, never be afraid to promote yourself, promote your events and yourself across various social platforms. And if you prefer more direct contact, just email them straight. You can find contact information a lot across the web. Finally, organization is key for a good engineering portfolio, and I suggest sectioning off into different categories, be it by award or just by division, for example, building, programming, and business, and which helps with easy understanding. Also, be sure to balance information across all categories and be detailed with what is shared, but don't try to cram everything into like 0.8 font because that's just hard on the eyes and not very easy to read. And be sure to include what is relevant to the information or maybe help expand on it. For example, adding calculations and CAD models for your for when you're describing your robot, adding screenshots of your code to elaborate on for programming, as well as pictures of outreaches so that you're breaking up the text and it's not just a monotonous essay.
So to win Inspire, teams need to do well in both technical and non-technical areas. And we believe that we were interviewed for all of the awards at World due to our powerful presentation. And our advice is that teams should always make a good first impression with the morning presentation so that you can get as many judges to come to your pit as possible. And during the morning interview, teams should focus on all aspects of the team. So like pretty much all awards, including design, innovate, control, connect, and motivate awards. And for the pit, it should be prepared for the judges to come. And because of this, the team should have a dedicated pit crew that keeps everything, that knows everything about the team and can stay at the pit from 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. each day. And we had about 25 judges visit us during Worlds. And that's pretty much, so our pit crew had to work really hard at Worlds. And the pit's layout should also display team highlights and have enough space for 4 judges to stand comfortably at once. And large teams shouldn't have everyone in the pit area since it's only 10 by 10 feet. And that's all for today from Wolf Corp, and we hope the tips are helpful. Thank you.
Thank you to all the panelists for presenting today. We will have a quick Q&A session for now. So from the Google Forms, the first question will be, do you have any tip? This question is for Wolf Corp. Do you have any tips or advice for FLL teams that are planning on starting or joining an FTC team?
Yeah, so on the technical side, I'm a programmer on one of our teams. So I think a big thing with going into FTC is being able to have like technical knowledge. On that side, get your Java fundamentals down. And personally, all of our team members have kind of just went on YouTube and either read through documentation or kind of just learned through tutorials on how to program in Java. So I think that's particularly helpful when you're going into robotics and FTC coming out of FLL or forming a new team.
And on the builder sides, I think it would be good to learn like Onshape and basically CAD software so that you know what parts you're going to need for your robot and just what exactly it's going to look like. And for our team, we actually have some CAD tutorials that are on our YouTube channel if you want to look. I can post the link in the chat, so if you want to learn Onshape, you can look at those videos.
And when it comes to the business side, just be prepared to start hosting more outreaches. I think that's one of the bigger differences between FLL and FTC. Just be prepared to reach out more into community and be a bit more proactive when it comes to engaging people in the STEM and non-STEM community.
Okay, thank you. Our next question will be for Suitbots. How do you start or look for FTC teams to join?
So when you're looking for FTC, the question was for FTC teams, right?
Yes.
Okay. So when you're looking for FTC teams to join, you should probably look into local teams near you. So usually FTC teams, they're based by the school, but there's also community teams. Like I know near Monrovia, there's also Girl Scout teams and there's teams from the Boys and Girls Club. And if you really can't find anything, you can just start your own team, to be honest. It's I wouldn't say it's easy to start a team, but it is possible to start a team. And you could just gather a group of friends and make a team like Golden Gears Golden Gears, who's based in California. They're just like a team of best friends and they just build robots and have fun together. Yeah.
Hi, thank you. Our next question will be for the Voyagers. What is the biggest piece of advice you can give to a rookie or a newer FTC team participants?
Well, when you're new, it's good to have people from many fields so that like you get to have many aspects covered for your team. So just like we said, anyone can be useful. For example, we had different people working on the portfolio, different people working on the engineering part, and also about the outreach. It's always good to promote the team either on TV or on like younger students. For example, we had like a science fair in which we presented the robot and let the little kids drive the robot and show them robotics. I think Theseus can tell you more about that, my teammate.
I just want to add a little thing there. In your rookie year, I think you want to focus on getting as much experience as you can get from the event. Just keep going around to different teams and just learn from everybody else that's more experienced than you. Yeah, basically that's it.
Okay, our next question for Parabellum. How do you get in contact with engineers and people in like the STEM fields?
Sure, I can talk. So in our first year, we got in contact with a local company. Actually, they're quite a big conglomerate, Honeywell, and we reached out to them for sort of engineering advice. We had a demo session with their engineers and their physicists. That was really, really helpful for us. And I think what's important to take away is not just the feedback, but to keep relationships with tech professionals and companies so that in the future, you can build up to asking for greater things, not just feedback, right? It's a pretty easy ask to start by saying, can we have a demo session with you? We want to get in touch with your engineers. We want to show you what we've done, and sort of implicate them in sort of like the coming generation of STEM. That's a pretty easy ask to start with, but to go from there, now Honeywell, gives us parts. The way we transported our robot to Worlds was because Honeywell supplied us with a crate. So sort of as you make deeper connections with industry professionals, you're able to ask bigger and bigger things, and it gives you sort of more and more opportunities to do things, and it enables you to go to Worlds like we did and work on that type of stuff. So sort of having that experience this year, when we reached out to sponsors, we were a lot more successful. In our first year, we really only had Honeywell sort of working as an outside sponsor, but going to Worlds, having that practice and sort of having the leverage of already having like Honeywell back us up really helped a lot. And we were able to raise like 7,600 Canadian dollars, which is really helpful for us in funding our trip to Houston and being able to compete to the best of our abilities. So biggest tip, I guess, is to not be afraid of cold calling. A lot of the companies you reached out to may not have said yes, but it sort of gets your name out there and they give you feedback as well. Oftentimes, even if they can't sponsor you or connect with you, they give you feedback about why they can't and what you can do cold calling others. But that being said, definitely try to reach out to people you have personal ties with. We reached out to our parents' employers, or our sports teams have sponsors and we reached out to them. But I saw a chat previously a question in the chat about what if you don't have any pre-existing connections, what you can do. And it's to sort of look for or manufacture connections. Like one of our 3D printing sponsors, 3BA, we don't have a personal connection with them at all. We didn't have an existing relationship, but it was founded by alumni from one of our schools. And so we were able to sort of relate on that and build a connection off that. So even if you don't have any pre-existing relationship, there's a lot to do. And FTC is a really great sort of platform for you to connect with other professionals. And it usually works out really well. So don't be afraid.
All right, thank you. Our next question is for the singers. How do you keep everyone on your team on track or make sure that everyone has a role to play within your team?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, so we believe that we can keep everyone in a team by really, just making them be involved, taking on tasks that they are really good at, because we know that FTC has so many areas of specialization. So for example, engineering, one of the things we make our teams do is that our engineers document every aspect that's related to engineering, to construction, and it may be sometimes involving CAD in our notebooks and portfolios. So they're always actively involved on some task. And we also have several messenger chats where we subdivide our members so that they can work on their departments in their task, and then we just put everything together.
Okay, thank you. Next question is for Java the Huts. How do you balance your robot game, portfolio, presentation, and outreach?
So how we balance that is, as I mentioned in the presentation, we have separate like teams or separate like subdivided teams on our team that consist of different members. And so we each work. So for example, I was on the portfolio team, and so we all work on our separate areas, but we also like we cross train. We get ideas from each other. So like the people working on the robots, they're not the only ones who input on the robot and control the robot. Like they have input from every other member on the team. The person from who codes, he gets help with maybe like figuring out a problem when they go from the other members of the team. So we kind of like, yes, we have our certain like areas that we work on, but we all kind of work on everything together.
Okay, thank you. And this question is for Malbots. How do you contact or obtain sponsorships?
Yeah, so we generally at the beginning of every season, every member will send out an email to a sponsor of any kind. So our train of thought is basically reach out to whoever and see what happens. So we'll reach out to local businesses or even bigger corporations. We have a sponsorship with Glowforge, which is a laser cutting company that we just kind of reached out to them on a whim and it worked out. So we try and kind of reach out just at random. And then we also try and maintain sponsorships. So if we have sponsorships from previous seasons, we keep up with them throughout the season. We'll send them emails updating them on our season, say like, here's how you've helped our team. And then we try and do that to like continue having those relationships. So like we have a sponsor who prints our posters for competition, and we've worked with him for multiple years just because like he's become involved in our team through keeping up with everything. So I think that would be like my biggest advice.
All right, thank you, Marabots. And the next question is for Enigma. What do you think that you learned this season that you will apply to your next season that can increase your chances of winning Inspire?
So overall, we think we expand our outreach a little bit, like reach out to more people, try and get more involved in our community, reach out to professionals in the space more. That was a big thing at Worlds, was the judges were really interested in who we talk to in the professional realm of what we're doing. And then also like perfect programming and that stuff way earlier than we did this season.
Yeah. Okay, thank you. And then the next question is for Dark Matter. What are key differentiators that can help set you apart from other teams at your competitions?
Some teams tend to focus a lot on robots. We want to make sure that we focus on outreach, sharing first, and getting our team known in our community.
We make sure our team members are knowledgeable in all areas. If we work in separate groups, we make sure to come together at the end of meetings to recap what everyone has worked on. It helps set you apart when team members can answer a variety of judges' questions.
I would say being approachable, interacting and being friendly with other teams, volunteers, and coaches. We are looked at as one of the more experienced teams, and rookie teams tend to come to us for help. We take every opportunity to help other teams and interact with them at competitions. We also try to stand out through team spirit. We always incorporate our team colors on our robot. We wear hats and set up a unique pit and hand out swag.
Another way we set ourselves apart is to try to think outside the box. We did this with our robot this season by creating a very unique robot. Thank you.
All right, thank you. And the next question is for a team without a cool acronym. How do you connect or reach out to other teams?
We connect and reach out to other teams a lot through our website and Instagram. A lot of times they reach out to us and ask us questions and advice, but we also reach out to a lot of other teams because we have questions and need advice, or we just enjoy talking to the other teams. We also invite the other teams to hang out with us after our competitions. Like there are a lot of teams that we make really strong connections with while competing, and then we want to be able to hang out with them more. And so at local competitions, we invite them back to our house to usually have some sort of like bonfire and some treats. And then when we are out of town, then we will invite them to go out and eat with us or find some activity to do.
Right, thank you for sharing. And our next question is for VC Silver Circuits. How do you select or recruit people that are motivated and dedicated to robotics?
So like over the summer, we let up anyone who wants to, really anyone who's interested, they can come work with our team over the summer as we work on side projects and stuff and just getting ready in general for the next season. And then we can see over the summer, how motivated these kids are. Are they coming to all of our team meetings and everything? And then once we hit August, we go through and we look at the different kids and we say, okay, well, these are the roles. We need 2 more builders. We need, people for the engineering notebook, and we pick who we would like to do what. And then we let them on their team, and everyone else, they've had all this experience over the summer of learning a lot of cool skills, and then they have to go their way. And so also with dedication, someone in the chat was asking if you need a team captain. And I would say yes, because they can take these team members that are just doing it because they're interested in robot or whatever, and team captains can help motivate and remind everyone of the common goal and direction that the team is trying to go towards. And remember, it's not about winning, it's about gaining new skills and new knowledge. So that's our answer.
Okay, and then this will be the last question for today. This is for Wolfcorp. What activities or outreaches do you think contributes most to your team winning Inspire? Like, for example, your most impactful outreaches.
So I think something that we were able to do this year pretty well was we had distance, like during the pandemic, there's a lot of distance learning, and that environment set us up well for the showcases that we held online, but we've also held a lot of workshops. And something that we did, we also do cross-training among our departments, and we were doing a 6-week programming tutorial this summer or past summer. And it was originally just for our team members, but since we already developed the curriculum and it was already pretty solid, we just took it and we also made it basically an outreach, and we put it on YouTube. And I think along with a couple of our vision workshops, as well as just some other kickoff programming workshops, that was pretty helpful. And I think it was something that was able to make an impact in the community. And we still have them online on our YouTube channel now, so you can check them out. And I think a couple teams have been able to find them useful. So I think that was a factor contributing to us being able to kind of set up outreach for this season.
Okay, thank you to Wolfcorp. And this will conclude our event today. I know there's a lot more questions that were unanswered. If you want to stay, and we can just continue going through more questions. For those in panel and in the audience, you guys are free to leave unless you want to stay and just help answer more questions.
All right, thank you guys for the cool presentation and all that. Yeah, nice. All of you guys were really cool, so nice.
Okay,
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. Okay, we can just go through.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming. We can go through some of the other questions. So another question that this will be just open panel because I know some teams left as well. So how do you prepare for next year's season during off season?
Oh, the Soupbots can take that. Okay, so preparing for like, I guess like kind of the weird window in between like next season and off season, we asked like this advice from like one of our old mentors, and he basically told us to really start creating a team agenda, because teams that usually go to Worlds or like do really well in competitions tend to have like a booked agenda for like year round kind of. And so I know this year we're starting our notebook really early. We've already started it. And we also try to reach out and start like doing panels kind of like this, kind of what Voltec is doing, just try to get in that extra outreach before season starts kind of. And yeah, that's basically kind of like the off-season preparation. You can also do summer camps or like team recruitment and stuff like that to try to keep your team active.
Okay, the next question is, some teams choose to focus on robot games, some choose to focus on awards, and some choose to be all-rounded in both aspects. How do your teams choose what to focus on and stick to that decision?
I'll take that. Yeah. We generally try, at least at the beginning of the season, to be a all-rounded team, because as the season progresses, like we don't know, our idea for a robot could just not be as strong as another team's idea, which would make us weaker in robot game, or vice versa. So we try and be well-rounded in any amount, especially because Inspire Awards specifically, they do care somewhat about robot game. Like it's not going to be your defining thing, but they do want to see like innovate. They want to see that you've put in effort, control. They want to see that like you are trying with your control award to improve your autonomous. And I think that's a really important part. There was one time at competition where I'm theorizing the main reason we won Inspire is because our robot basically shattered in half, and then we fixed it during competition. Like I think having this like, you don't have to be the best, but you should try your hardest for your team to do as much as possible in all the categories, because A, you're going to get more out of the season, you're going to learn a lot more, and B, because it is going to help a lot in Inspire by being that well-rounded team.
Okay, thank you. And our next question will be, what do you think is the most effective way to document in your engineering portfolios?
I would like to take that question. One of the most important ways, or probably the best way you could get an engineering portfolio done in the most effective way, is coming together on a virtual platform and really at different times, and set like standard times when you can contribute to the engineering portfolio. Make sure that you assign roles, and these are like sections that everybody can contribute to getting the engineering portfolio done. And one person who's like the main in charge can check if that section has been completed. If that person is unable to carry out that task, it could be assigned to somebody else. They could let them know beforehand. So really just having everybody working on it simultaneously, if that's what works best, or assigning sections and particular deadlines to get them done in efficient manner.
Thank you. And our next question is, how do you start the process of learning skills that are needed for first, such as programming or CADing?
I can answer that one. So we were, as I told you, a rookie team, and we had to start off from scratch. And essentially, we started by reading the manuals of the competition, just to clarify what we can use, what we cannot use, etc., etc. And we also had some people with experience in our team. So we were lucky enough to have somebody that had used Java before, for example. So for the programming, we were ready. The engineering, we had to learn from scratch. So with a bit of advice from our coaches, as well as the contribution of all the students, because we brainstormed a lot. That's, I think, our secret tool, let's say. We brainstorm a lot. So by trying to figure out a way to solve a problem, we also learned simultaneously to work with a bunch of tools. And I think each department, like whether it's engineering or programming or media, you can learn from scratch. I mean, for me, it's not that hard to learn something if you have the will to do so, and you have a good team by your side.
Great, thank you. And the next question is, what innovative factor did you have on your robot, and do you think that contributed to helping you win any awards?
We could take that one. So our robot, as we said, we really strive. The main goal of our robot was to make it very unique. We saw that a lot of robots kind of had the same main mechanism or looked kind of similar. So our main goal this season was to do something totally out of the box. We set some parameters for ourselves. We said we didn't want to do any double stage lifts and we didn't want to do any string. So we actually did a lift on a lift, essentially. We had a belted lift system that goes up and down and a conveyor system that goes side to side. And we think that that had a big play in us winning Inspire. Just having the double lift and something that we had never seen before, including Outworlds or state or social media. We have not seen something like that. So it was truly unique, and we feel that really helped us win Inspire.
All right, thank you for sharing. And our next question is, do you think having a good robot is important to winning Inspire?
Yeah, I definitely think having a good robot is pretty important to winning Inspire. I would say that the split between, or for us, our split between robot and impacting the community is probably something like 60-40, where 60% of, I think, what we were talking about, what we were discussing is our outreach, but then 40%, 45% is still a robot. And so just making sure that when you're building a robot, you kind of write down really anything when you're going through that design process and when you're brainstorming and those ideas that you guys create, and then the prototypes and the robot you build and kind of that whole storyline is, if you can sell that to the judges, you don't even need to have the best robot necessarily, but being able to kind of illustrate how you've been able to work as a team to build the robot and gotten from where you started in the season to now is, I think, something important to, or really important to winning Inspire.
Okay, thank you. And another question is, do you have any advice for people that are in pit, whether it be like talking to judges or just like setting up your pit in general?
I could probably also answer this one. So for our pit, I think one of the more distinguishing factors is our pit was, I think someone called it really serious, but we had appealed it a lot to the judges, and we had a lot of our team information on there, whether that was like design, innovate, motivate, or connect. And with setting up the pit, just being able to use objects or any kind of like poster or something like that, that would be great for being able to convince the judges how about your story as a team.
Okay, and the next question is, when does your team begin doing outreaches, or when do you think is the most effective time to start outreaches for the next season?
Okay, so I can do this one. I think one of the best times to do outreaches is probably during the off season. You can sort of capitalize on the time between the end of one and the start of the next, where you don't have to focus too much on building a good robot and trying to make it meet the deadlines for competitions and such. So I think during the off season, during the summer, especially when people aren't like in school, or they might be less busy, like for example, first teams might be less busy, you can host more outreaches, or you can be out in the community more and interact with just other people in general. And I know I say like summer, but honestly, if you could probably start like at the end of the school year, beginning with like recruitment, or just starting even in April if you don't have any events then.
Okay, thank you. And the next question is, what do you think contributes to, like, how do you appeal yourself to the team more, to the judges more? Do you do it mostly when you're doing judging in the morning, or when you're in the pits and judges stop by?
I would like to answer this one. I think in general, because you can like constantly be watched either by judges or other teams, it's good to have this mentality of appealing to the judges constantly, no matter if you're next to them or far away from them. Of course, in the interviews, it's important to show off the most, let's say, but if you show everybody that you're having fun and how skilled your team is and how much you're willing to cooperate with other teams, I feel like this is ideally, it ideally should be done at all times, and not just when you're being judged necessarily.
Okay, thank you. And then another question is, what outreaches do you really enjoy doing? It can be STEM related or non-STEM related.
I'd like to take this one. I think some of the outreaches that we really enjoy doing is especially those that are concerned like with visiting smaller schools, like could be what we call them primary in our island, but basically like elementary and middle schools. So teaching like little children about how robots move, how they work, and just seeing their reactions to them, because their reactions are so priceless, they're so innocent. I think that's what gives us the most joy. So we really take pride in doing our outreaches with like smaller schools. So yeah.
Okay, and I think that is pretty much it for today. Thank you for all the panelists and all the audience, and you guys are free to go.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you guys. See ya.
Thank you for coming.
Yo, by the way, what about the recording? Are you gonna send it out individually?
We will have probably a link posted